also. Not a
Okay.
problem. So today it is okay, but tomorrow make
Yes,
sure
yes.
that it's
By tomorrow that will be integrated for sure.
okay.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. You can carry on.
Okay, guys. So we already covered 2 units, and last week we talked about the SAP HANA, SAP S4 HANA. What are these? We have given the overview, and then we talked little bit about simple finance, like what are the things which are new in simple finance, what are the new functionalities, but we have not talked about any particular functionality in detail. We just had the overview that these are the new functionalities which will come in SAP, and one of that functionality was universal journal entry, and this is the basic enhancement based on which all the new enhancements are dependent. So what we are going to do today is we are going to understand the universal journal entry in detail. So today's focus will be how this universal journal entry has been defined, and based on the different components, how the data is going to be merged in the universal journal entry. And I'm also going to show you the screen, SAP screen, where exactly we can see how this table is created as a new table, and some of the tables
Audio,
has been
yes,
have been
audio,
removed. And
computer audio I have selected.
yeah, Ali, can you hear me now? We'll wait for a moment for Ali.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you now.
Hello,
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
just one
Hi,
minute. This
Gaurav.
session is recorded,
Yeah,
right?
hi.
Session is recorded, or we have to record the session?
No, it is getting recorded. You don't need to worry about it because it is being recorded and it will be shared with all of you.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so I was talking about the universal journal entry, and today I'll also show you the server in which we'll see how this universal journal entry is saved in the table ACDOCA, and how these different tables which we talked about, like BSIS, index tables, and the total tables have been removed and they have been converted as the SAP HANA or CDS views. So this is the agenda for today, and before we start with the today's topic, in the last session we some candidates have some questions. So first of all, we need to answer that questions, and then we'll start off with the today's topic. So question number 1, it was the difference between BPC and IBP. So someone was telling that whether BPC is required or IBP will remove the need of BPC. So last session also we discussed this, that BPC is for consolidation plus planning. So integrated planning based on SAP HANA is possible in BPC, but consolidation is still standalone. So even if you are using BPC 10.1, planning will be supported real-time embedded on SAP HANA, but consolidation you have to implement a separate server in which the consolidation will take place. So if the company has the need that they want to go for business integrated planning plus consolidation, then it is a better idea to go for BPC, because integrated business planning is not going to support consolidation. It is only the tool which is for planning. But SAP, I have seen somewhere that SAP is also developing consolidation within integrated planning. So it may be possible that after some time, this BPC will be completely removed and it will be converted into IBP. But as of today, SAP is clearly saying that if you want consolidation, you have to go for BPC. But if your need is only for business planning, the integrated planning, which is on real-time SAP HANA, then you go for integrated business planning, IBP. But again, BPC you can use even on the old ECC also. If you implemented new GL accounting, classical accounting, whatever it is, you are still able to use the BPC. But IBP is something which you have to use only when you have implemented simple finance. So this IBP will not work on the previous versions. Any questions on this? Last time we had the discussion on this, and then I told you that okay, I'll go back and check what is the basic difference between the two. Any clarity you want on this? So everybody has understood
Gaurav,
that planning, yeah,
this is Jitendra.
yeah,
Last time you told us where to use BPC and where to use IBP.
mm-hmm.
So, do you have any like material where we should use BPC and where we should use IBP? If we
Yeah,
both
exactly.
use activity.
Yeah. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So if you have the requirement for consolidation, if your company needs consolidation, it is a group company in which there are multiple company codes and there are some intercompany transactions also, and you need to have the group level consolidation. In that case, integrated business planning is not going to support. It can be only used for planning, but consolidation it will not do. So if you have the requirement for consolidation, you have to implement SAP BPC. But if you are just concerned about the business planning, then you can either go for BPC or you can go for IBP. But IBP is based on the embedded on SAP HANA. That's why, and it is the default solution with the SAP Simple Finance. That's why it is preferred if you are using planning. But if consolidation, then you have to go for BPC.
We can say that BPC means planning and consolidation both, and IBP is
Exactly,
only relevant for.
planning.
Okay, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Gaurav, one more question.
So,
Can we do this consolidation? Gaurav, 1 second.
yeah,
This is Abdul.
yeah.
Can't we do this consolidation in HANA platform, like by using either Universal General or anything else? Because is it necessary to go for BPC again for the business?
Yeah. As of now, consolidation has to be separate. It is still not supported by ACDOCA, Universal Journal, but they are planning and they may come up with the solution for this. And so consolidation will also work on the real-time basis. You don't need a separate instance or the BW server for the data which is required for the consolidation. So currently, you need a separate instance. You need to have the BW in which the data is stored from. You have to take the data from ECC to BW and then you have to do the consolidation. So till date, separate instance, but yes, they have the plan for consolidation also to be based on the Universal Journal. So already they have migrated the planning on Universal Journal, but still consolidation is still not migrated. Okay, Abdul?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, going forward. Second question was, somebody was telling that the planning, I was talking about the constraint in simple finance that you cannot do cost center planning if you are going to simple finance. I mean the normal classical planning. You have to go for integrated business planning if you want to do cost center, internal order, profit center planning, whatever you want. But somebody was saying no, he has tried in their server and still he was able to use the old transaction code and was able to use the cost center planning. So this is a note, SAP note, in which SAP has recommended to go for integrated planning itself because it is a tool which will be used for all different types of plannings. That's why they called it as an integrated business planning. So it is top-down approach where even both the approaches, top-down and bottom-up approach. So currently what we are doing is we are doing cost center planning independently, profit center planning independently. There is no connection between them. But integrated planning, integrated business planning will help in doing the integrated planning. So whenever I'm saying this is my profit center planning, it has to be aligned with the cost center planning. And it has to be either top down or bottom up. Top down means the management will give the targets. Okay, this is the budget for this cost center or maybe this cost center group. And within that cost center group, you have to make sure that within the hierarchy that the budget is not going on that particular hierarchy. So if there are 4 cost centers and they are linked to one profit center, so for expenses side, profit center has to be integrated with the cost center. currently this is not the case. You can do separately profit center accounting and cost center accounting. They are not integrated. So that is the reason why SAP is recommending that use integrated business planning, which will help you to do the integrated planning. While if you want to use the old cost center planning, profit center planning, you have to activate it separately. So when you implement simple finance, by default this option will not be available. But again, if you are if you are keen that okay, I know the benefits of integrated business planning, but still I want to use old cost center planning, old internal order planning, you can do. You have to implement this note. So last time somebody was telling that he is still able to do. I think this note has been implemented on that server. That's why you were able to use that transaction code, the old transaction code. Okay. Coming to the next question, costing based COPA. Some of you was saying that costing based COPA is completely removed and we need to migrate to account based COPA compulsorily. This is not the case. Costing based COPA is still untouched. This means whatever developments have been made in COPA side, they are all based on the account based COPA. So now account based COPA is totally dependent on universal journal. But costing based COPA is still untouched. There is no change in costing based COPA as of now. So it will work as it was working earlier, but again, there are some benefits if you are using costing based COPA on simple finance. The obvious benefit is now the database is HANA. So if you are using costing based COPA in your earlier database and now you are migrating to simple finance, if you are using costing based COPA, there will be still some improvements in costing based COPA. But the question that costing based COPA has been completely removed, that is wrong. Costing based COPA is still supported by SAP and you can use both, but SAP is suggesting go for account based COPA because it is totally integrated with universal journal now. So you can have the benefits of S/4HANA on account based COPA. But they are not stopping you to use costing based COPA. You can still go and use costing based COPA. Okay. Any other question that was raised in the last session and we decided that we'll think about it and we'll answer it later? Okay, not a problem. Let's go ahead and now we'll start off with today's topic, which is universal journal. So this slide we already talked about when we taken the demo session, and I think most of you were available on the demo session, but still there are some new guys who have not been in the demo session. So this is particularly for them, that before universal journal, what was happening is there were separate tables, there were separate screens for different submodules within financials. So controlling was separate module or submodule. COPA was again separate component. Material ledger was totally separate component. And asset accounting again was a separate component. So many a times we came up with the situation when the balances in controlling does not match with balances in GL. And we need to reconcile all these transactions. We need to come up with the differences. We need to pass the adjustment entries, and like it hampers the closing process. So you have to do all this reconciliation, and data is stored in multiple tables. So for GL, data is stored in, let's say, BSEG. For controlling, it is in COEP. For COPA, some other tables. For material ledger, some other tables. So in short, the data was segregated. It was saved in multiple tables. Not only that, the reconciliation exercise was very tedious and it was taking a lot of time to do this reconciliation. So what SAP has suggested, SAP has came up with called as a universal journal, in which Now there will be only a single table which will hold the data for all different subcomponents. So this means
One
that you
question, Gaurav,
don't,
here.
yeah.
As we have in new general accounting, COFI reconciliation, and actually we have FICO reconciliation already we have.
No, but that is reconciliation, but you have to do the reconciliation because see, it is a real-time reconciliation, we can say, but still there are some secondary cost postings which we make, and finally we have to do the adjustments and all to make it reconciled.
The secondary cost element we need to do, but primary cost element is automatic adjusted with new general ledger
Yes.
accounting.
Yes, it is automatically adjusted, but again, they are two separate components as of today also.
Yes.
Yeah, so now it is not the separate component. It is a single component called as a universal journal,
Okay.
in which,
It means
yes,
no
in which
difference
the
in
controlling,
primary or GL and cost element.
sorry,
There is a no difference between GL and cost element. Both are same.
I'll come to that. In the subsequent screens, I'll show you what is the new screen for GL creation and cost element creation.
Okay. Okay.
But you are right. There is no difference in GL and cost element anymore. But uh, these are two separate components currently. But now it will be what you can say. They are integrated and not integrated actually. They are becoming one now. So still now, COPA is a separate component, GL is a separate component, CO is a different component, asset accounting if you see. So many a times we come up with there is no, like whatever balance is appearing in the GL, it is not matching with the asset balances. So because these are two separate components. But now what will happen is, because see, what is happening till now is accounting data is getting stored in the BSEC, while asset accounting data is stored in some other table for asset related tables, transaction related tables. So what we need to do is we need to reconcile each and everything because this data is stored in two tables. Now what will happen is there is a common table. This is exactly what is universal journal. So ACDOCA is a universal journal table in which the data from all these components will be integrated and stored at one place. So there is no need for reconciliation. Even when
Okay.
you run the reports, when you want some ABAP reports, at that time what you do is if you want to have the data from different components, you have to write select statement from this table and from that table. Now what will happen is all the data is stored in a single table. So that will reduce the time of uh, query processing. Not only that, the data, like currently there are a lot of tables for indexing, for totals, there are different tables which will be removed and everything will be available in a single table. That is the entire logic. Clear,
Fine,
Jitin?
Gaurav.
Yeah. So what is going to happen is, this is what I'm talking about, a universal journal. So this is a common table, that's why it is called as a universal journal, which is holding the data from all different components. So whatever data we stored in GL, let's say BSEG, COEP, all this data will again be replicated in the universal journal. What does this mean is, you don't have to go for extracting the data from these old tables. You can directly go here and you can have the data from all different components, right? So for CO, COPA, this COPA is again, as I told you, this is account-based COPA, not the costing-based COPA. So whatever are the tables for account-based COPA, whatever are the fields in that table, they will again be stored in the universal journal entry. That's why it is called as a single source of truth. So currently, if there is some mismatch in the balances of controlling and GL accounting, we don't know what is right and what is wrong. So whether FI is correct or CO is correct, but there is one thing for sure, that one of them is not correct, one of them is incorrect. So now what will happen is single source of truth. That means you don't have to rely on multiple tables. Whatever data is available on the universal journal, that is the truth. So this is how the new document structure will look like in simple finance. So you have the BKPF. BKPF is still untouched. So for header table, you have the BKPF, and for all lines, irrespective of the component, everything will be stored in ACDOCA table. It contains all the fields needed from GL, CO, asset accounting, material ledger, and profitability analysis. Not only that, currently what happens, I have the question from all of you. Let's say in my company code, I have the requirement of a parallel ledger. So I have local GAAP and IFRS requirements. So where does the line item for my parallel ledger will get stored, in which table? Any idea? If I want to generate a report based on my parallel ledger, non-leading ledger, from where I'll get this data? Any guess?
Is it the FLAG,
If I give a guess,
FLEX, and FLAG, FLEXA?
FAGL Flex T or Flex A?
Flex or Flex T? Sorry, okay. It's already been said.
Yeah, correct. So normally we use FAGL Flexa for this purpose, but BSEC doesn't hold the data for the non-leading ledgers, right? So BSEC, if you go and search for BSEC, it will show you only the leading ledger lines. It will not show you the non-leading ledger lines. But now what will happen is everything, like if you have four non-leading ledgers, all the lines will be stored in ACDOCA. So you don't need to be relied on some different table for different purposes. For all purposes, for all finance purpose, there will be a common data storage, which is a common table called as ACDOCA. That's why this multi-gap capability through RLDNR, this is nothing but the ledger. So if there is a document with 2 lines, and let's say apart from the normal ledger, leading ledger, there are 3 non-leading ledgers. So 2 into 4, 8 lines will be stored in the ACDOCA table. Also what is the current length of the line item? Like how many line items we can have in a document?
999.
Yes, 999 is what is the maximum limit of BSEC table. That's why 999 is the maximum line items that we can have in a BSEC table. But in ACDOCA, you can have 6 digits. So currently it is 3 digits. BSEC is 3 digits. ACDOCA is 6 digits. Why? Because apart from the leading ledger, you are storing the data of the non-leading ledgers also. So that is the reason why they kept as 6 digits. Similarly, currency fields today, what is the number of currency fields? Like what is the total number, maximum number we can have in the currency field today? Length.
13.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry?
13.
Currency field 3 digits.
Yeah, so now it will be 23. So these are some of the benefits, some of the benefits that Universal Journal has.
So Gaurav,
How is the performance, Gaurav?
One
Sorry.
question.
Yeah.
Gaurav, how is the performance of this table? I mean, you know, BSEC or BKPF, if you take those two tables, the performance, extracting data from them, they were anyway cluster tables. So extracting any data from them was quite difficult. And how is ACDOCA now? That's going to be a cluster table now? Is that what, or how is it going to be? Can we extract the data? I mean, how is the performance in a nutshell?
Okay. Yeah. So see the complete model, the data model. This already we talked about the data model, simplified data model. So what was happening earlier is we were using the
Rows. We were using
databases
rows,
which
and
were,
now it will be columns.
yes, exactly. So earlier we were dependent on some other vendors like SQL Server, Oracle for our database, and they were storing the data in the form of rows, relationship database. So currently we are not using the simple finance is totally based on SAP HANA, which is storing the data in the form of columns. and to retrieve the data from this structure is relatively very easy. So the performance obviously will improve, and like whatever, even totals table, why we were using the totals table, index table, because we don't want to have the performance issue on BSEC. That's why we have created a lot of totals tables, lot of index tables earlier in the earlier data model. But now, because the speed is not an issue, the performance is not an issue, everything can be run on the fly. So we don't need to store any totals table, because totals, whenever you want any total, it will be calculated itself on the query in the ACDOCA using the ACDOCA data. Even the indexing, like whether which particular documents are cleared, which particular documents are open, we don't need BSIS, BSAS anymore as a tables, but they will be created as the views.
So
Okay.
is it possible to add any fields over here for ACDOCA table, Gaurav? Can we
Custom
add
fields, you mean?
Yeah. No, standard
Yeah,
fields.
you are asking for the custom fields?
No. Either custom or standard fields. Can we, because there is some situations where the field is not there in ACDOCA. Is it there in such a situation? So that can we add field over here? Include
No, can you give me the
include any
example?
field?
Can you give me the example, like in which situation you need to add the field in the table?
Because in certain, see what in our current scenario, because we don't have all the fields in one table, right? So we can what we are doing right now in old systems, we can join the tables over here to include those fields in one, either in query or something. Okay, so to extract those data. So is it like that in ACDOCA, or all the fields being included in that?
All the fields are included. It contains more than 450 fields now.
Okay.
Even after that, if you need, like for example, in the new GL we had the benefit called as custom fields. You can have your custom fields based on which you want the reporting. That will also be copied into the ACDOCA. So if you have already activated the new GL in your old system and you have already defined some custom fields which are being used, that will again be copied automatically. It means during the process of migration directly into the ACDOCA. So that is also taken care of. So you don't need to, I don't think any need to manually add any entry here in this table.
Okay.
Gaurav,
Yeah.
while talking about custom fields, now if we need any custom fields in the new Simple Finance, so do you, of course, I think you should not change this or make any changes to this table, right? So it should be a new table and new fields if we need to do some custom reports using some custom fields and all that. So I'm asking you a question, like if you have some new custom fields, user-defined fields with some reports, do you use this table, or like you create the new custom table and fields?
No. See, the whatever steps you were doing earlier, whenever you were adding the fields in the new GL front end, it will remain same. So you have to add new fields as you were adding earlier, but it will not create the new tables. It will create the fields automatically in ACDOCA.
Okay. Got it.
Gaurav, one question.
Okay.
Earlier, when we use query SQVI, so we were unable to use BSEC table. Okay. If we make a query and joining table, we are unable to use BSEC. So now we have this functionality to use ACDOCA A in query and all.
Yeah, query and all. Earlier we were able to use SQVI. I have not tried SQVI as such, but normal BSEC we can use. There is no issue in that.
No.
We can.
No,
it was not suggested actually.
Yeah,
it was not recommended.
No. Actually, Gaurav, what he's saying is right. You can't use it on SQVI. You can't use BSEC because it's a cluster table.
Okay.
It's a cluster table. You can't try that. You have to use BSEC. You have to use BSEC. You have to use those tables. You can't use a BSEC. They were
Okay.
clustered. Oh,
Yeah, let me check this question because I have not used SQVI for ACDOCA till now.
yeah. I mean, but yeah, you can use a query. I mean, like you can use a join statement in a report, or that's not a problem. But you can't use
Yeah,
it in
but he's asking in SQVI. So you mean to say in SQVI we cannot use BSIG. So the
No.
question is, can we use ACDOCA in SQVI, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll definitely answer you this question tomorrow because also not used SQVI for ACDOCA. Even for the BSIG also, I was not creating any queries using SQVI. So in the BSIG also, I have no idea, but definitely I'll answer your question tomorrow. Okay. Any further questions? Yeah. So this is what was happening earlier, and this is what exactly will happen in Simple Finance. So currently aggregates table. So like FAGL Flex T, the totals table. So there were a lot of totals table in each and every module. Similarly, indices like for GL, BSIS, BSAS, for AP, BSIK, BSAK, for AR, BSID, BSAD. These are all the tables which were used as the indices table. And for financial documents, I have just given the example of FI and CO. So currently, these were the different tables which were affected when you were posting any entry. What will happen now is it will be a combined FICO document because the cost element has been added to the GL itself. So both are combined now. So you don't need to have a separate document for FI and separate document for CO. And the tables, as I told you, the indices, aggregates, these are not required anymore because the aggregates, totals, and the indices can be performed on the fly. This means you can write the query in such a way that you can do the calculations on the query itself. Similar to that, as I told you, these tables, whatever were available earlier, like FAGL, FlexT, BSIS, BSAS, they are not removed as they are just removed as the tables, but they are currently available as the HANA views. So you can use that views. What it will do is it will generate the query on the fly, and it will take the data from Universal Journal, and you can have the reporting as you were having earlier. So from the front end side, you will not see any difference. If you already have some reports which are already built up on these tables, the earlier tables, you don't need to worry about that because although they are deleted as the tables, they are created as the HANA views. So whenever you will write any query on that tables, what it will do is it will create a query and it will ask the data from Universal Journal, and it will be available to you as it was available earlier. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. So this is just the example of COEP. So when you were writing the ABAP code, select particular fields from this table COEP. So what it was doing is it was taking the data from COEP, but now it will not take the data from COEP. What it will do is the COEP will be assigned to the view called as V underscore COEP, and what this will do is this will fetch the data from the Universal Journal. And whatever data was available to you earlier, in the same way it will be available to you now also. And the database is HANA database now. Earlier it was some other database. Any queries here? Last time also we spoke, like if you have already the ABAP coding, which has the motive to insert some of the data in the tables which were earlier but which are converted on HANA views now. So you have to make sure that this ABAP codes have been changed because these tables are not existing anymore. So the ABAP code will not be able to insert any values in these tables. But as far as reading is concerned, if you want to just read the data, whatever was stored in these tables, you can still perform these codings. You can still use these ABAP codes to take the data. Clear? Any questions here? I mean the current ABAP codes. Hello. Hello. Hello.
So Gaurav, I have one question. So do we have the if existing any custom reports are there, ABAP reports? So do we need to change again the table structure by adding these fields, these tables? So we have to do that one if an
No, sorry.
existing
Can you repeat your
no.
question?
For example, if there is an existing ECC system is already used by the business and they have write some queries, they have developed some custom reports by using ABAP coding. Okay, now they want to go for HANA. So after implementing HANA, so is it necessary to change the ABAP coding again because these tables are not at all been available and there are new tables has been added. So anyhow, the data has to be extract from universal general only. Correct. So is it necessary to change that existing ABAP coding?
No, that is exactly what I'm talking about in this screen. So even though the tables have been removed, okay, let's take an example like I want to take the data from BSIS. Okay, I have some ABAP code which is fetching the data from BSIS. But now this BSIS table has been completely removed and it has been converted into the HANA views, right? So the data which was stored in BSIS earlier, it is not stored now. It is completely blank view because view doesn't hold any data. It is the temporary data. So whenever you write any query to fetch the data from BSIS, what it will do is BSIS will redirect and take the data from ACDOCA, from the Universal Journal. And in front end, you will not be able to, there will be no any difference. Like whatever you were doing earlier and whatever you are doing now, you will get the same report in the new structure also.
No, this is for new query after implementing HANA.
No, I'm talking about old queries also.
Okay.
So if the
So no
old
need to
queries are also based on the some old tables, they will still run on the simple finance. But I'm
yes,
talking
sir.
about writing. If you are writing something, like if you are
Okay.
updating, if you are written any insert statement on these tables, that coding you have to change because you cannot you cannot write anything on the view.
Okay.
So old codes will remain as it is. They will work as they were working earlier.
One question, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Now we have lots of function module based on BSIS, BSAK, and all the table which are going to be obsolete. Okay, so still we are able to use those function module.
Which functional module?
Like we have some function module, like if you want to take the open items of customer or open items of clear item of customer, we have function module based on the BSID, BSAD. Okay, so still we are able to use those function module, or it will divert through like this same views and to ACDOCA, like.
No, see, from front end side, you don't have to worry about it because functional module again will redirect the data, redirect to the table BSIS. When he will not find the BSIS table, it will take the BSIS view and this view will fetch the data from ACDOCA. So from front end screen,
Oh,
you don't need to worry about it, but back end it will work like this. So whatever you ask from BSIS, it will not directly give you, it will ask the data from ACDOCA and
same.
it will collect the data and give it to you.
And one more question: do we SAP has come up with the new function module based on ACDOCA, like ACDOCA table,
Yeah, there are
directly
some
fetching the
functional
data?
modules. There are some functional modules which they have given. Uh, Currently, I don't have that on the list, but I'm going to show you that also.
Okay, Gaurav.
Any further queries on the new structure? Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, now let's talk about the unified master record. So somebody has asked the question, so whether the GL and cost element has been merged. Now they are merged. It is a single master data. So there is no separate master data for cost element. So the chart of account now contains your GL items also, balance sheet account, profit and loss accounts, and even your secondary cost elements also. So secondary cost elements also now needs to be created through FS00 from the same screen which we were using for creation of GL accounts. And there will be no time dependency for cost element. So normally when we create a cost element, it asks for the valid from date and valid to date. Similarly, no default account assignments. So normally in cost element master data, we maintain some default cost centers and some other cost objects. Now you will not be allowed to do so. So how will you manage this? How will you assign the default cost elements using the old OKB9 screen? So you have to use OKB9 screen to assign the default cost objects to your cost element. Okay, and profit and loss accounts can be classified as cost elements. Cost element type remains, so secondary cost still only posted from, yes. So what about secondary cost element? The postings will remain as it is. So whenever you want to post anything to the secondary cost elements, it has to be done through the CO allocations. Any questions on this in the unified master data?
Regarding, as you said, the cost element category, now we need to mention in OKB9.
No, I'm not talking about category. I'm talking about default cost object. For example, in my cost element X, I want to have a default cost center as Y. So currently, in our current system, we were able to do so.
Going forward, we will not able to do in OKB9.
Going forward, we cannot. Yes. Going forward, we cannot use master data for this, but we can do this through OKB9.
One more thing, as we talked, the cost element category we able to define like previous, or it is nothing, the cost element category, or
no, cost element category you will be defining in the GL master itself.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the screen.
Okay, fine.
So apart from the normal fields in the GL master, there is one new field called as account types. So normally we have the account group in GL master that will still be available, but there will be one more field called as account type. Account type is whether it is a balance sheet account, and these are the 4 types of accounts. These are the default 4 types of accounts. Balance sheet accounts, non-operative expense and revenues accounts. This means that the hello.
Gaurav, your screen has been lost, I think, Gaurav.
Yeah, because just a minute. Anybody from coordinator side is there? Sana? Krishna? Because I am no longer the presenter. Hello?
Gaurav, do you have Krishna number so that you can?
Yeah, I'll do that. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Hello? Sir? Hello?
Krishna, I think Gaurav is
Hello?
calling you.
Gaurav sir, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah. Hello?
Yes, Gaurav.
Yes,
Now we
Gaurav.
are
Now
able
it
to
is
see.
okay.
Yes, now
We
it
are
is.
able to see.
Yeah, yeah. So now you are able to see the screen, right? Hello. Hello.
So we are able to see the screen.
Okay, okay. So yes, I was talking about the account types. So there is new field called as account type in the GL master, and this account types can be one of these four. First is your balance sheet account. Second is non-operating expense revenue accounts, where you don't need the cost element against that. Third is the primary cost and revenues. So this is the normal cost element, like the normal GL account for which we used to create the cost element either 0, 1 or 11, whatever is the type of the cost element, and then the secondary cost elements. So this has been divided in the GL master itself, whether it is the primary cost element or the secondary cost element. Again,
Gaurav, again we lost the screen. Yes.
yeah, I think there is some problem. Just a minute. Hello. Hello, Krishna.
Hello?
Yeah,
Sir, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, but I think you are the presenter now.
No, no, I given the present to you.
No, I cannot present.
1 minute, sir. I'll send the present to me 1 second.
Now Sana is the new presenter. Yes,
Yeah,
just a
I
minute.
sent the present to you. Just now I sent you.
Okay. Yeah, now I can present. So can you see the screen now? Hello.
Yes, Gaurav, we are able to see the screen.
Okay, thank you. So the balance sheet account, non-operating expense revenues account, where we don't need the cost element to be created, and these are the two types of accounts where normally we create the cost element against this GL accounts. So this
So
is,
non-operating expenses or revenue means it is a P&L accounts.
yes, they are the P&L accounts. Okay, so I think it will be better idea to go through SAP server now before going ahead, and whatever we discussed till now, let's see what is ACDOCA, how this GL master is, how GL master looks in the new screen, and then we'll come back to this screen. Just give me a minute, let me share my SAP screen with you now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear anything. That's the reason I just said hello.
Okay. Just a minute, I'm just sharing my another screen now. Okay. Can you see my screen now, SAP screen?
Yes, I can see. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go and see the ACDOCA table first of all. So this is my ACDOCA table, which consists of more than I think 400 columns. and you can still extend if you have some custom fields to make it, like whatever custom fields are maintained in your uh, what we can say characteristics, like the new settings, and the customer fields which are maintained for COPA also, like the segments or characteristics whatever you have created, that also will appear in the ACDOCA screen. Similar to that, whatever fields are maintained in material ledger, that will also appear in ACDOCA, and rest of the modules also, like asset accounting also. So this is the table. So you can see here. Let me go to SE11. That will tell me whether this is a view or this is a table. And there are some steps involved during the time of migration, because this ACDOCA table will be filled automatically. I'll show you how it will be filled automatically during the migration, but you have to copy all the columns from all different tables, and there are some configurations that you have to do. So I don't know how much configuration is already done on this server, but I'm going to explain you all the configuration steps that will be required when you want to migrate from your old system to the new system. And the steps include the inclusion of different fields from all different modules, including the custom fields that will be migrated to ACDOCA, and then finally migrating the balances of all different components into the ACDOCA. So this is my SE11 screen, ACDOCA. I'm just seeing display. So this is my table. Okay, you can have a look at different fields here. It is 328 fields as of now. So I don't know how much of fields are already migrated, how many steps are already performed on this server, but according to my knowledge, there should be more than 400 fields in this table. Okay, this may be because the material ledgers is not activated. That's why not much of the fields are copied from there. It may be possible because COPA is not activated. That's why the number of fields are lesser here, but it should be more than 400. Okay, so we can see what different components exist here. So company code, this means your accounting document number. So GL component is here. Controlling area is here. So controlling component is also included in this table. So all the, like, whatever fields were available in all different components, it will copy all that fields into a single table. And you can directly use this table whenever you want to create any new reports. You can directly refer to this table. So asset is also here. Asset accounting is also applicable in this ACDOCA. Profitability COPA is also there. Then I don't know where this remaining fields are. We have to check what is enabled in this server. I think material ledgers fields are not available here. Okay, so this is how your ACDOCA table will look like. If you want to have the query on this, like what is the data maintained, so I don't know whether ledgers are maintained here or not, because this everything we are going to do, this is just for showing you how it will look like. We are going to try each and every transaction here with different ledgers, with different asset accounting, with maybe we are going to create the cost elements, like the creation of cost element from the new screen also. That exactly everything we are going to do. We are just here to have the look of simple finance. So let's say I'm just executing this. It contains only 29 records, or 305 records. me go back and try from AC16. So here you can see this is your financial document number. The line item, as I told you, this has been extended to 6 digits. Earlier in BSEG it is only 3. So this, as I told you, ACDOCA will contain your normal FI transactions also, CO transactions also, your asset accounting, all sub-component transactions also. So it is possible that in the account field there is only secondary cost element available rather than the primary cost. That is also possible because secondary cost element postings also, the allocations and all, whatever you will do, they will again come into the same table. There is some disturbance. Hello?
Yes, 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 Gaurav.
Yeah, there is some disturbance. I don't know from. Okay, not a problem. So this account will contain all cost elements also now, irrespective of the type of cost element. Secondary cost element will again come in the account field here. Cost center, profit center. Then I need to show you the controlling area. I'll show you the controlling document number also. Offsetting account. Like currently, if you want offsetting account to be available in your line item reports, for example, FBL3N or FBL1N, what you normally do is you, can anybody tell me what you do when you want the offsetting account to be reported in the FBL3N screen?
We use layout options and all.
Sorry?
Layout option.
Layout option, again, normally in the normal process, it is not included in the layout also. You have to bring that field from somewhere else. Anybody knows this?
You are talking about special fields.
Yes, we can say special fields. Not, I'm just talking about the offsetting account. So anybody from your side have they come across this situation where client is asking that I want offsetting
Yes,
account in the
sir.
FBL3N? Yes.
We activate purchasing account in material master, this material management
Mm-hmm.
during variance if they want vendor wise.
No, no, no. What I'm trying to say is, for example, I want to see the report for bank. Okay. So I have done some
Yeah.
10 transactions from this bank and I want to know against which expense account I have done these transactions. So normally if you go into the FBL3N screen, it will only show you the bank GL account. It will not show you the expense account. Even after you go for the layout change, you will not find the offsetting account field there. So there is some standard solution available in SAP which you have to activate. I'm talking about that. So okay, if nobody knows, there is a BTE, business transaction event, that you have to activate and you have to bring whatever fields you want into that field list of FBL3N. Anybody knows about this BTE activation?
Yes.
FIBF.
I think.
Hi Gaurav, this is Raju here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have an idea. Which you're looking FBL3 and report means which 1620 BDM it will help you to fetch the data. What you are looking exactly in that?
No, I'm saying normally when I see FBL3 and report, I can see one account, one GL account, which I have given in my query, right? But I want to see this was okay. This was a debit account. Which was the credit account? Which was the offsetting account in that particular entry?
Using BD 1620, we can achieve that your requirement.
Yes, exactly. I want to hear that. So you're talking about BT, right?
Exactly. BD,
Yeah.
BAFS.
So we need to, yes, we need to activate the BT from FIBF, and then only we can see this column in the column list, right?
Okay.
So this has been solved now. So offsetting account is available in the table itself. So you don't need to activate any BT. You don't have to change any standard settings for that. It is available in the ACDOCA itself.
Exactly.
Okay. So in ACDOCA, this offsetting account. Now, let's
Either
take an example.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Your question?
Account can be GL account, vendor, customer, anything can be displayed here, right?
Yes, yes. Anything can be displayed here.
Okay, good.
The account type also and account also will be displayed. So if it is the account type K, this means it is the vendor and the code.
Okay.
Gaurav, I have one question.
Yeah.
As you said, this has been solved. Suppose if I have one document when my GL account posted with 5 line items, 5 offsetting accounts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming to that.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, your question is valid. Like for example, I have done one bank transaction and I am looking at the bank line items, and in one document I have 5 different type of expenses. Okay. So what about the offsetting account? Which offsetting account it should take? There are 5 accounts. So this setting you have to make in the configuration. There is a new configuration screen for this. Which offsetting account you want? There are 4 options. One is no offsetting account required. Second is first offsetting. The first line item, whichever it takes, it will take the value of that. Third is the value, like the line which has the highest value, it will be shown in the offsetting account. Have I answered your question?
Not exactly, Gaurav. If my client looking for that,
all the 4 lines.
All the 4 lines I want, or whatever the posted line in the document.
That is still not possible using the standard report. So earlier also it was not possible. Through BT also it was not possible. BT was also showing one first line. But now you don't need to use the BT. You can decide which particular account you want to take. But it will be only one account. You cannot have multiple line items in FBL3N. Let me show you that. Obviously, we are going to cover this in the subsequent session also, but define offsetting account determination type. So you have these 4 options here. Do not display offsetting account. Display offsetting account if clearly specified. If there is only one, only then you show, otherwise keep it blank. Third is always display offsetting account with the highest amount. I think this is the better option. But fourth is as case 2, but including line items generated automatically. So case 2 is display offsetting account if clearly specified. So I think Normally, all the clients will prefer this. Show the account with the highest amount.
What is last one?
What is fourth option?